The government says Crossroads must go. If it does, the government will only house 700 of the 20,000 people. The other men there must return to single quarters, and the women and children to the homelands. The Minister of Plural Development, Dr. Connie Mulder, said that if the government condoned the existence of squatter camps, places like Crossroads would become the nucleus of a massive sprawl which would envelop the whole city. It happened, he says, in India. Crossroads would be cleared, in favorable weather, in the most humane way possible. How humane can this be? For Mrs. Lutango, this will not be her first eviction.
They came when I was busy doing my washing. The bath was full of my washing. Some of my children were still sleeping. And when they came, they said to me, "Pack up your goods." And I asked for what reason. They said, "Pack up, you are leaving for home." I asked, "What about my washing that is already wet?" They answered, "You will pack it as it is." I said, "I cannot pack because I'm waiting for my appointment with the hospital." I did not answer back at that time. And just after that, my child had a fit. I persuaded myself to be strong and grabbed one of my children on the one side of me and the other on the other. They picked up 2 other women and drove to Langa. When we arrived at Langa, I related what had happened, and he asked me as to whether I had told them about the hospital. I said I had.
There are no courts in Crossroads. She was taken to Langa. These men are looking for their wives. Mrs. Lutango came to Cape Town because of a sick child. She has lived there for 14 years. Her husband has worked in Cape Town for 30 years. The decision at Langa was to send her back to the Transkei. After a day without food, they gave her tickets for the train.
Then they took us to Bellevue Station, and even there I had to persuade myself to be calm. As the train reached Kraaifontein, my child started getting ill again. I was tempted to get off because the child was having a fit, but I realized that the child was not going to be able to walk.
In desperation, she got off the train at the next station and returned to Crossroads and rebuilt her home. To emphasize that South African demolition is humane, Dr. Mulder told Parliament that in India, shacks were bulldozed with people still in them. Francis Wilson.
Crossroads is a typical squatter community such as one finds everywhere in the world, New Delhi, Rio de Janeiro, or anywhere else. At another and at a profound sense, it is quite different because it is the consequence of policies that are saying not that men may not urbanize, that the men are required here as labor, but that is saying that they may not come here as human beings, they may not have, even their wives and their children may live with them. It is said that this is illegal, it is out of the question. If Crossroads should be destroyed, then we are hearing loud and clear, yet again, that the South African political economic system is being built on migratory labor, the man as a labor unit in one place with his family, his children, his wife somewhere else, and he may only see them 2 or 3 weeks a year over a 20-year period. And one cannot build any kind of society on that basis.